Okay, I want to talk about the landlord details on your residential tenancy agreement. So property managers, we're having a lot of discussions about this, and this isn't new. This just because it came out in the new regulations that commenced on the 23rd of March this year. Lots of other things changed on the 23rd of March as well. But in terms of residential tenancies, we got new regulations, and part of those regulations were more of an enforcement along the lines of giving landlord contact details. Now, this wasn't new to the Act. It has been in there since 2010. What we've got to realise now is that the actual standard form of agreement that was part of the regulations, so that standard form of residential tenancy agreement on the front page, on the very first page, and again, I've got it here, and I'm just going to read it. Actually notes. It has the landlord's name, and then the landlord telephone number or other contact details. So it doesn't have to be a telephone number, it can be an email address. And it has a note. These details must be provided for landlords, whether or not there is a landlord's agent. Okay, we've talked about that a number of times in the last couple of months. And, we've talked about having specific email addresses for specific properties and, working it out that way and having an arrangement with your landlord that they flick it straight through to you anyway. Now, what happens then? On page 4, there's another section that's called the giving notices and other documents electronically. Now, this is about, getting an email address for the landlord and for the tenant. Now, here, this can be the agent's and should be the agent's email address. The contact details that are required are for the front page where it has the landlord contact details. You don't want any electronic notices being served to your landlord. You're being paid to manage the property. Manage the property. It should be your email address on this, not the landlord's details. Okay, so that is not about providing the landlord's contact details for the service of notices. You're the person that, as the agent, that must have the service of notices given to you. Okay, so really just make sure you're filling in those residential tenancies agreement accurately to make sure, one, they'll stand up in NCAT if it gets to that point, and that you've got all of the correct information in there that's going to protect your landlord, but also going to protect you and make sure that you can actually do your job well.